What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and I'm here for another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. And today I am joined in studio by my sis, my fam here in hip hop. I can't throw enough confetti. I've learned in the past, I don't even try to do a full introduction. Actually, for her, I don't even have to do one. I can just do this. Hey, yo!
That's what I'm
and the whole
about.
metaverse knows exactly who I'm talking about. But big shout out to my sis here, the one and only Yoaphro was in the building. She was on our first episode of this podcast. Actually, first, second, and third. Episode was too long. We had to break it up into three for her and a whole host of artists up in here. But enough about that. She is an ambassador of hip hop, one of the nicest period ambassadors throughout the metaverse. She got love for everybody. But don't mess with her. That BX will come out. So you keep it love, peace and love. It's going to be peace and love. So, but I'm going to let her introduce herself and then we're going to get into it. Sis, thank you for coming through. Please introduce yourself to the people, I should say.
Man, you already know what it is. First off, it's always great being here, being in a dope spot. You know what I'm saying? Last year we did it big. And so thank you for inviting me back. But my name is Yoaphro. And like he said, you know, big hip hop ambassador here in these meta streets, you know, representing the culture to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Artist development coach, artist at heart. True pioneer, you know what I'm saying, in the culture when it comes to dancing. Yo, for real, I'll hit you with the spin and a heartbeat, not even playing. Yo, for real. So, you know, but yeah, you know, it's all about peace and love, like you said, and that's been the whole thing since I've been here, and that's what's been holding me up. Because in all honesty, the support and all the love that I've been getting from everybody here in these meta streets has been lovely. So all I could do is give back, and have a good time. Word up.
She definitely does that. Well, I tell you what, sis, let's get right into it. First question I love to ask everybody is, what initially brought you here into the headset?
Akil the MC told me about the Metaverse. Straight Jurassic 5. Y'all already know. Akil the MC and we go back for about a good little over 30 years now. And, you know, we've been working together for a while when it comes to music, whether I'm featuring on some stuff of his or he's producing some of my music, we rock out, and especially when we hit the stage. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. So he told me about the Metaverse. You know, he shot a quick video of mine's back in the day. And I want to say it was like, March of 2022, you know, he went ahead and shot the first Metaverse video of mine, which was Neighborhood Senorita. And he shot that in Altspace. So maybe about 6-7 months later, I decided to go ahead and grab the headset myself and expand my brand, try it out. And I started hitting up the streets, you know, hitting up all the karaoke spots, all the open mics, everything that I would do in the real world, I was doing here in the space, and realized that there was definitely a market. It was definitely a niche that I can get into. The people were great. You know, when you're realizing as an independent artist, there's so many tools that you can utilize just to, you know, enhance what you're doing, expand what you're doing, and you know what I'm saying? Just actually like live your dream, you know, it's all here. So it, you know, the metaverse, it got me now at this point. Now I'm bringing people in. I got a whole team that I rock with. The Block Collective, Cyber Shay up in the house. Word up. You know what I'm saying? Waterloo, MetaClean, Jen Smash, you know what I'm saying? And then I got my crew of people that I brought up in here. You know, shout outs to John Robinson. Shout out to Akil the MC. Shout out to Noah. Shout out. And then there's so much more coming up in. Shout out to MC Shan. Yeah, word up. We talking about pioneers. Shout out to Sweet Tea. Okay. I'm talking about these are people that, they got the headsets. They come in here from time to time. They
What
love
about
what they're
Hakeem?
seeing and they want to
What
do
about
some stuff. Oh,
Hakeem?
yeah. Hakeem is coming. Hakeem has been here. Hakeem Green. Shout out to Channel Live.
Channel
Yo,
Live. I was watching Madism Sports yesterday. Big shout out
yeah,
to
big
Channel
shout out.
Live.
And that's what, truth be told, man, Hakeem, we need that up in here. We need Madism Sports up in the metaverse. Stop playing. Stop playing. So, but yeah, we've had some good times since I've hit the meta streets in January of 23. You know what I'm saying? We've been growing, doing great things, throwing some dope ass events, shooting some dope ass videos and whatnot. So, yeah, we've been doing it up, man, having a good time.
I like that. Let's stick with the subject of videos because the time frame we come from in hip hop, it's not
Mm-hmm.
quite like it is today, where you can almost say hip hop runs everything. We come
Right.
from an era when hip hop was really still kind of struggling to get its foothold internationally. Let's say it that way. I mean, it's
That's
always been
right.
beasts in the game doing their thing, but a lot of people used to front on hip hop. Let's say in the 80s and 90s. Let's keep it a buck.
That's right.
So back like in the 80s and 90s, if you were in anybody's rap video, you were a legend. You had people running around like, look, that's my left earlobe in the corner of the camera.
You're
That's me
right.
right there. Right? I mean,
You're right.
you know what I'm talking about.
Look, I'm right there on the
Y'all,
corner. You don't see me dancing. You see my hand right there. You see, I know you recognize my shoulder right there, right there.
you see my kneecap sitting down at that table, like crazy
That's
stuff
my
people would
dance
say.
move. They copy me.
I'm
That's
the
my
only
shit.
person that does that move. I'm the
Word
only one
up.
that does that. You know how that goes. But I gotta say, one of those, I was this old when I learned this moment, one of the most classic videos ever in hip hop is OPP. And
Yo.
guess who was in that video? And when I went back and saw that, I'm like, that's her sitting next to Latifah. Like, I didn't realize that. Tell the people about that and how that came about.
Oh, absolutely. I'll let you know. So, what's so crazy is maybe about a week, maybe about 4 days prior to shooting that video, I was in that same place shooting Talk About Sex with Salt and Pepper.
Wow.
And I
Big up to Salt and
invited,
Pepper.
huge salute to the fam, huge salute to Idol Makers, straight up, yo, word
You're going
up.
to come back to Idol Makers too. We're not going to let that one go
Yo,
past.
man, but we were up in the spot and Tretch and them was up in there and we had been back and forth into the studio recording and everything. So it was crazy, them being up in the warehouse where this video was being shot. They were like, yo, Fro, we gonna be up in here next week. We shooting OPP. We need you here. So I'm like, he was like, they were like, yo, bring your girls. I'm telling you, we're gonna need like a whole crowd. So I ended up gathering like 8 of my friends and we took the train. Like, yo, again, like I dipped out of school and shit. So I went to the school, grabbed everybody, like, yo, oh my God.
We
And
don't
we got on the
encourage that,
train.
but you had
Yo,
to do
no,
what you
we
had
do
to do.
not encourage that. These days you can get, homeschooled and enjoy and shit. But anyway, yo, but yeah, we took the train on out there. It's like 8 of us, we deep up in the spot, whatnot. And we get up in there and we're just having a good old time. And just as I said, you know how I was like, yo, you can see me dancing on the corner right there. So not only am I sitting next to Latifah, they do have me in there dancing. I'm actually dancing next to Tretch, like right on his left side, going in. And then my other friend, she's like a sister to me. We used to both dance for Lord Finesse. So she's in there too.
Big shout out to Laura
well.
Finesse.
Huge
Oh my
salute to
goodness.
Lord Finesse.
She has history in this hip hop.
Word. That's my people's right there, yo. But yeah, yo, we were all up in there doing our thing, having a good time. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't my first time actually meeting Latifah. When we recorded the master track for OPP, at Quad Studios, everybody was there. Latifah was there, Apache was there, Almond Joy was there, Nikki
Jersey,
D was
stand
there,
up.
Moni Love was there, like the whole Flavor You was up in the spot. You know what I'm saying? And we had some more people because, of course, I didn't come dolo. So it was like, we needed that crowd to help out with some of the vocals too. So it was really, really dope. But it was even doper to know the studio that we were in, like so many years later, to hear that, there was like drama up in the spot. But this was like one of the studios that you really made it. You got the proper funding if you are up in this studio recording. And for me to be up in there with all of these celebrities that I used to look at in the magazines, man, listen, at that age, I didn't know how to act, but I did know how to act. I didn't act like a groupie. You know what I'm saying? However, in my head, I'm like, yo, this is just, it was just blowing me away. And man, I learned so much, but I was so grateful, had so much fun recording that video. So for all of y'all that don't know, all the female vocals on OPP, that's me. And that shit right there, like, man, it was crazy. I had just got off the road. I was on tour with Keith Sweat because I used to dance with Keith Sweat. And I totally forgot about all the songs that I did. We did a ton of songs together, me with Naughty by Nature, just different features and just being there with them, just listening to different shit that they were doing. I'm on the road, and when I come back, I'm hanging out with my sisters, and they're like, yo, Fro, we heard the song that you did with Tretch and them. And I'm like, huh? Yo, it's on the radio. It's huge. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And they were like, yo, I'm telling you, yo, you don't know. And I'm like, nah. Yo, while we were talking, somebody drives by, and all you heard was, up, 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 up. They were like, that's it right there. That's the song. And even when she said that, I was still like, what?
Like, what are
Michael
you talking
Jackson,
about?
what are you talking about? Somebody else drives by, yeah, you know me, yo, and you hear the I was like, yo, I had no idea. Like, are you for real? I'm like, yo, for real, sis? And she was like, yo, they are blowing up. Tretch and them are blowing up. They're doing their thing. I had no idea. I didn't even know. But I thought it was so dope to come off the road from such a dope ass tour, right? Dancing with a bunch of different people, meeting mad guests, mad artists, you know what I'm saying? People that I really looked up to on MTV, to come off the road and hang out to hear that I'm on the radio. That was a lot of things. I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's really, really dope, man, for real. So huge salute to the broskies, Naughty by Nature. Word up.
Big shout out to Tretch, big shout out to Vinny, and big shout out to KG. Now, I hope you
Absolutely.
realize in the last 3 minutes, she's told you she's been a dancer. She's been featured, her vocals on songs, and she still hasn't even really scratched the surface of all the stuff that she's done. We're going to even hit some more dancers as far as your dancing career here in hip hop, because there's a lot of moves that you may be out here doing that your mama and your daddy was out here doing that they got from her. We're going to come back to that here real soon. So you got a chance to vibe and do your stuff with them. And like she said, she was on tour with Keith Sweat. Big shout out to Keith Sweat.
Huge salute.
So you did
Huge
that.
Salute. Mm-hmm.
You've done work with them. Even before that, she mentioned, I said we're going to come back to it, the Idol Makers. Big shout out to Herbie Lovebug.
Huge
big shout out to Kwame. Salt and Pepper.
That's right. Salt and Pepper. Kid and Play.
Dana
Dane.
We're going to come back to some of that. Dana Dane with Fame. Delancey Street. Big shout out to Dana Dane.
Word up.
Big shout out to Dana Dane. Like, see, I'm kind of fanboying because it takes me down the memories of all the groups and stuff that I came up on as well. So we can talk about that just continuously. But let's talk a little bit about the Idol Makers. Let the people know about the Idol Makers and your work with them.
Oh man, the Idol Makers, that was just so dope. So I got to meet the Idol Makers back in, like, I want to say it was 88. And it was by way of a guy named Dale that we called Gigolo that lived on my block. And he asked me if I'd like to be part of a group. And and I told him I didn't know. So he was like, I'm going to get back to you on some things as I might have something for you. And I'm like, all right. So he came through and he asked my mom at the time, because I was young and whatnot. So, he asked my mom if I would be able to go downtown and go to the studio and record some vocals, because there was somebody that they had in mind, but they had to, they had to do some other things. So they needed someone to be the vocalist. So my mom said yes. And so he takes me downtown and I'm recording, and lo and behold, it's with Grandmaster Flash, right? So it's for the New Jack City soundtrack. With the girl named Essence, the MC, and the song was called Lyrics to the Rhythm. So from that, just meeting that crew alone, it kind of segued into me auditioning for the Idol Makers for Sweet Tea. So I went and they loved me. Like it just as soon as I mean, it was dope. I went auditioned at Herbie's basement, his mom's basement. I'll never forget it. It was me and another young lady named Radia, and she was so dope, man. Oh my God, Radia could dance her ass off. I'm talking about her spins was so freaking wicked. She would spin, drop, come up, and beat, like do all kinds of shit. Like she was just dope. But for me, I'm young. I'm like, yo, I'm with it. These are people. You talking about Herbie? What? Are you kidding
Like
me? I'm
say
about to go ahead
less.
and do my
Exactly.
thing. I'm about to go ahead and represent my bros. I'm gonna represent my sisters. I'm gonna represent my whole block. That's how I was feeling. Like shit. I was the only one there from the Bronx too. I was like, yo, I'm straight repping. Yo, I take that back. Celine was from the Bronx too. But we had a really, really good time. Ended up doing my thing, and I started dancing with the Idol Makers, with Dancing with Sweet Tea first. And then I was invited to start doing different videos, like talk about sex, expressions, independent with Salt and Pepper. I was then asked to choreograph Kid and Play for Funhouse. For their house party movie. That was a lot of fun because they actually flew me out to LA to film that video as well. And then it was just Kwame. I'm in Kwame's video. I'm in Dana Dane's video. But just like those videos, I'm more so models. I'm just playing a model in there. I'm not dancing in these
Mhm.
videos. But with the whole Idol Makers fam, it was dope. And let me tell you what was so dope about that and crazy is like a year prior to me meeting the Idol Makers, I was in the village at Urban Outfitters with my best friend, and we were filling out applications just to try to find a job. And I was in the middle of just filling out my app, and all of a sudden I hear somebody say, Aphrodite Mercado. What? So I was like, who the hell? So I'm looking and it's Herbie. Herbie's right there looking at me. He's watching me fill out my application. And he was like, your name is Aphrodite. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, yo, kid, come here. So when he said that, I'm like, stop. In my head, I'm like, you are fucking kidding me. And I'm looking at my best friend and, we're just smiling, just like tripping or whatever. He comes over and he's like, do you know what her name is? And he was like, what's her name? And he was like, Aphrodite. And he was like, Aphrodite. So it was a whole conversation about my name. How did my mom get it? What school do I go to? So when I told him I had went to Clinton, yo, kid was like, I went to Bronx Science. It was crazy. Like we just had a crazy conversation. So anyway, fast forward a year later to have, to be in the position that I was in, Herbie's basement dancing and they're feeling me. We skip back to that freaking whole moment at Urban Outfitters. It was like, yo, I can't believe it. Like we really met Fro at Urban Outfitters like a year prior to this. That's just so crazy how shit happens. So, but yeah, man, I mean, it was dope. That was the first fam to really show me how things are done in the industry. And I always have love for them. Word up.
Well, I like that because I can definitely see some of the lessons that you learned there is some of the stuff that you brought into the here to the metaverse now. But before we
Mm-hmm.
bring it up to now, there's one other thing that I want to talk to you about, or have you talk about, I should say, something classic that again I keep telling you people that she has so much history in this game. Let's talk about the dip.
I put my hands up for my head. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Word up. Yo, so I'm in Atlanta and and I'm up here trying to move around. I had just had my little girl, maybe about 3 months prior, and I'm trying to jump back in the scene of dancing and whatnot. And somebody asked me if I'd like to be part of this video production. So I didn't know who the artist was or whatever the case may be. And I just said, yeah. So I go and I figured I'd do something different. I had a little weight on and whatnot because I just had a baby. So I was dealing with some things, you know what I'm saying? So I go up in there and I noticed that he had some Afro puffs, the makeup artist, and I asked to use them shits, you know what I'm saying? Just to be a little different. And I didn't realize the type of impact it was going to have, which was good. I just wanted to think outside the box. So as an artist, always think outside the box because it works. Don't keep doing the same thing. Be different. Be you, but be different. Don't try to be like everybody else. So, we're up in there, we're doing our thing, and yeah, the dip, man, freak nasty. Like this shit was crazy. It was produced by Tomorrow Pictures, and yeah, man, we were nominated Best Dance Video for that year. Like I didn't think that it was gonna do, what it did, but we had a lot of fun doing it. But the crazy shit is what is this, like how many years later, almost 30 years later, and now this song is hitting the surface again on TikTok, and you got all these
Mm-hmm.
kids doing the dance, and the dance is different. They're not doing it the right
Then yeah,
way,
they're
or
not doing it the
the
same, but yeah,
original way, I should
yeah.
say. But yeah, man, yeah, that was pretty dope. That was a lot of things. That was the very first video that I did out here in Atlanta. So yeah.
I told y'all, a lot of y'all mothers and fathers was learning to do the dip from her right there. Don't get it
Yeah,
twisted. I told you she has
yeah.
history in there. But let's not stick in the past because wow, this time is flying on this episode because this could be a 2 hour episode and we still wouldn't cover everything. But let's bring it a little forward here and talk a little bit about the metaverse. So
Word.
you are part of the Block Collective. So for the people who
Absolutely.
don't know about that, can you tell the people about the Block Collective and then also what you do, what you bring to the Block Collective?
Man, the Block Collective is a collective of some dope folks that do different things within the crew. We got MetaClean, he's the strategist. We got Waterloon, he produces movies, videos. We got Cyber Shay, she's with the cybersecurity, and then Jen Smash, she's with the, she's an accountant. She does the financials. So myself, I do artist development. I am an artist here in the metaverse, but I love the people, so I stay put in my peoples. That artist development in me is it stands out. So that's what I do within the clique, as well as we build together. We vibe like every other tribe up in the spot. But we get the opportunity to actually bring people into the space that are doing things in the real world, some of the pioneers of the culture. And we simply do that because I have access to them, and why not, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, I definitely try to pull in whoever I can. And just from me doing that, they think about their resources, and now we all do it. We bring it in. Jen has her own experiences, her own history in the culture. So she gets to bring in who she needs to bring in. So it's like, when we get together and we throw something, is so super dope. You know what I'm saying? Because the chemistry amongst us all, like we all have that type of street background. Waterloon's from Jersey, Cyber Shay's from Brooklyn, Jen's from the Bronx, I'm from the Bronx, Metaclean's from the Bronx. So we all have that type of concrete jungle backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the block, we truly represent that authenticity of shit, your area, you know what I mean? Like the culture, period. We bring the elements, the DJ, the MC, the artist, the B-boys. We give you knowledge, you know what I'm saying? We're hitting you with fashion, so it's always going to be catered to hip hop, when the block is doing something. And if there is something with R&B, like we're just creative people. We're going to go all out. So the block is definitely a collective of some dope ass folks ready to do some outstanding things here in the space. We have been, and we love giving back and adding flavor to what everybody else got going on up in here too. So
I love how with the Block Collective, how it's multifaceted. Where one,
absolutely.
if you're a new artist and you're trying to get yourself established here, they're definitely somebody you can seek out, get some
Yeah.
amazing advice and help from them. But then
Hmm.
also, what I really have to say, big shout out to you all, is the fact that all the artists that you're bringing in and all the artists that you're trying to bring in here into the metaverse, or even if you haven't brought them in yet, the artists that you've got to at least kind of raise an eyebrow to at least look and peek and see what's happening here. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna ask you again. Name some of the people that you all have brought into the space.
All right. So we got Akil, DMC, and I would say that he actually brought me in this space, but from what we got going on, we got Akil, the MC, John Robinson, we got Six Man, we got Hakeem Green, we got Four Eyes, we got Norkin, we got Nejma Nefertiti coming in, we got Head Crack up in the spot, we got freaking Teravan Pool coming. We have our eyes right now talking in negotiations with some people from Idol Makers. I'm not gonna put their name out there.
Yeah, don't put
But
them out there. Yeah.
right. And we got some DJs up in the house. We got DJ Fish, Bronx Finest. We got DJ Doug Boogie with the Hop
Big shout
Stew.
out to DJ Fish.
Straight up. And, we got some other celebrity DJs that we're talking with, going to be bringing them in. We got the Jungle Brothers that we're talking to right now.
The
So,
brothers, the
our
brothers.
our focus is really on the pioneers of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Just to come in and be able to talk about, what they've done. In for the culture, their contributions, and some of these artists will come in here and look at it as it being like a second shot at life, at their career, or pick up the pieces and or do something else. This is the perfect spot for you to rock your alter ego too. You know what I'm saying? If or if you're that type of person that just don't want to be out there, you got the headset, now you're an avatar, you're a whole character, shit. You know what I mean? You could do your thing. But, this is what we're doing. We pretty much get packages together and really push the artist as to where they want to be, where they see themselves, we bring it to life. So yeah, it's going down. Hakeem Green, we got Video Music Box. I'm trying to bring them real people up in here. I want Ralph McDaniels up in here, big shout outs to Video Music Box. Yo, word up.
Huge
We are
pillar,
being like,
pillar
there's
of hip
people
hop.
watching what we doing right now. MC Shan's about to come up in here. We got an event on March 20th. Iced Out Thursdays, and then right after that, we're going to be at the after party for QB. It's going to be at QB for MC Shan. So that's going to be really, really dope. March 24th, we got John Robinson at Meta Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? He's giving us a dope concert. So we got some dope things coming up, so stay tuned and stay connected because it's going down.
I like that. And something else too, and I won't go into a whole bunch of other names, but it's not just like the names that you've brought in. Almost every name that you've mentioned brought somebody else into here.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the key thing. That's key. That's big.
Yeah. There's so much more. Like we got Four Eyes, we got Legendary Baller, we got there's some artists
Tiffany
that's here
Page.
in Atlanta. Tiffany Page.
I mean, it's just so many people.
It's so many people that's coming in, and it's like they've been so busy outside of the headset, but they're eager to get in. They see what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? They see all the moves that everyone's making, and they're like, yo, I got to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are having a good time. I got to get up in there. So I'm like, come through. Stop playing.
Definitely.
Come through.
We encourage you, and that's one of the reasons why I ask this questions. If you get a chance to see this podcast, I promise you, no matter where you were or are in your music career, come into the metaverse. There's room for you. And I'm going to say one other example, and this kind of ties into, so I guess I'm going to say Waterloo, but really the whole crew of you all. Imagine you as an artist and you wanted to do your first video and you was pumped and you go to the record company. It's like, look, I want to do this. I want to do this. Then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And the record company says, oh, that sounds nice. But the budget says you're only going to do this.
Right.
You don't have those same constraints here in the metaverse.
Not at all.
Like whatever your most vivid imagination is for a video, you can come in here and do that. And it's nothing. Pennies on the thousands of dollars that it would be outside the headset. So I definitely encourage that.
Word up. Straight up.
Well, like I said, Fro, we could sit here and keep talking. This half hour flew by. I looked at the clock and I'm like, damn, it's time. Wow. So let me do this. Can you tell the people about what you're currently doing and what you may have upcoming here in the metaverse, and we'll kind of end out that way?
Okay, word up. So yeah, look out for me. Got some new music in the works right now. Currently working with Akil the MC. He's going to be producing the new album and everything. And I got some other people that I'm working with, but I'm kind of keeping it quiet. It's a little surprise. As well as getting ready for the events that's coming up again. March 20th is going to be at Iced Out Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Yo, it's going down. MC Shan's video premiere, for his new single. Yo, that is going to be crazy. So come through. Make sure you have on your old school gear or get ready to throw on the fat rope chains because you already know how they get down in iced outs. Okay. And then afterwards at 10 o'clock on that day, March 20th, we're having an after party at QB. So come through because that is going to be crazy. We're going to have a couple of performances, but MC Shan's going to be in the house and we'll get to listen to some new music and some old school shit. And there, please come ready, dressed in your 80s gear, the best 80s gear that you could find in the asset box. Do your thing. But yeah, come through and get ready to have a good time. Throw your hands up. For real. Yo, you already know hip hop is in the house, yo. But yo, I'm your girl, Yoaphro, and it's been a dope time here with my bro, Marcus, DJ Marcus. Yo, for real, thank you again for having me. Word up.
Thank you for coming through and gracing the set again. We appreciate it. I couldn't go into everything. We're going to I want to do an episode on just the Block Collective. I want to bring the entire Block Collective and have you do one together, because I've been blessed to have you. No, we haven't had Waterloon. We need you on here. I'm trying. Waterloon, we need you on here. He's the only one that we haven't had on here yet, but I know that man's busy, so we're going to make it happen at some point. But after we get him on individually, I really want to bring you all back on and have an episode just with the Block Collective. And then you can really hear. You talk about the Super Friends? You talk about the Super Friends? You talk about Voltron? Wait till you see them all on the set together. Big shout out to you all.
Time. Huge salute to the Block Collective. You already know, y'all.
As a matter of fact, I got to add some seats if we get the Block Collective. I got to add some seats. I just look.
Yeah, you're going to have to. And yo, big shout out to your audience too, bro. Big shout out to the audience that came through tonight. Tony Starks, Illustrate, Cyber Shay, Anati, Metadie, Black Storm, City Girl. For real. Yo, thank you. You already know you always have the dopest people at your spots.
Big shout out to the Mr. Block Party radio team. It's funny because I was so engaged into this episode, and this is the first episode that we opened it back up to the public. We literally used to do it that way. We had somebody come through and act an ass, just saying all kind of foul stuff. So we had to come back the next day and do a private session just to finish that episode. It was so bad. So yeah, big shout out to everybody that's actually vibing with us. I appreciate it. Again, my name is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party. I was joined by my sis. Yep,
your girl, Yoaphro. Word up.
In the building. Thank you again for sitting down with us, sis. Again, my name is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party, and this was another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast. Until next time, peace.
Yep. Hip hop. Word up.
We are out.
Hey, we out. Dope.
What up, everybody? This is DJ Marcus J, aka Mr. Block Party. And I'm here for another episode of the Metaversal Mindset Podcast.